Well, friends, hold on to your hat. It's a windy day at Millenium Park. That's right, I'm here at Millenium Park, a huge park on the city's southwest side. And I've got an idea. Let's get out in the great outdoors. Let's explore Millenium Park. Look behind me at the boathouse. I'm going to show you some other parts of the park that you may not have seen before. You might recognize this part of Millenium Park. This is where the boathouse is, and just beyond that is the swimming beach. These were all gravel pits where people took out gravel and sand so that it could be used as a natural resource. One thing that I've really come to enjoy about Millenium Park is the biodiversity. Because there's so much water and so many different types of ecosystems here, there have been a lot of birds seen here. Over 200 species of birds have been seen just at Millenium Park. That's pretty amazing for a Kent County park. So come on out to Millenium Park. If you haven't been here, there's a lot to explore, so many spots. Oh, I'll show you more. It's all about energy. Biodiversity is the variety of life found in an area. All of this water at Millenium Park helps to increase the biodiversity. Ha ha! The Canada geese are looking to use the splash pad to cool off today. Awesome. Wow, look at that. Millenium Park includes many ecosystems. Look at this wet meadow or field. An ecosystem is a place where living and non-living things interact. There are many ponds and lakes at Millenium Park. These are all ecosystems. Let's take a walk on the huge Skywalk Bridge at Millenium Park. We are really up high. This is so cool. That pump is pumping out fossil fuels from the earth. I wonder if it's gas or oil. Could be natural gas, I'm not sure. Friends, as we walk the trails at Millenium Park, you have to realize that many animals, especially big animals like a white-tailed deer, they don't really have a shelter. They will hide sometimes in the brush, like the brush you see behind me, to conceal themselves, to hide themselves from predators. But many animals like the white-tailed deer, their fur and their thick skin and their fat layer actually protects them from cold and from wind and rain. So when I look around at the brush behind me here at Millenium Park, this is shelter for lots of animals to hide in. We'll take a look at some specific shelters that other animals use. But just know that all of this brush is good cover or hiding place for many animals. Cool. Do you remember the difference between an ecosystem and a habitat? And there's a squirrel dray, a leaf shelter up in the trees at Millenium Park. I wonder if the squirrel's going to sleep about right now. Shh, let's not wake him up. So the ecosystem I'm walking through here at Millenium Park is like a bottomland forest. It's a typical type of forest that would grow alongside a river, like the Grand River behind me. But its habitat is great for different kinds of animals. The habitat of a barred owl would be found often within a bottomland forest. So there are many habitats within this ecosystem called the bottomland forest. Wow, pretty cool. A habitat is a place where a certain plant or animal finds what it needs to survive. Remember? There's a cavity in a living tree. That would be a good shelter for many types of animals. This bottomland forest ecosystem is pretty open. because every year this floods. The Grand River comes up in the spring, and this is all underwater. So a lot of the dead wood kind of floats away. So it creates an open, almost park-like atmosphere down here with all these maples. This is a bottomland forest ecosystem here at Millenium Park. Looks pretty cool, but there's a lot of poison ivy down there. Be careful if you come here. Wow, they just paved this trail. It kind of goes through almost the middle of Millenium Park from the big trestle bridge over the Grand River. Wow, look at these beautiful willows. It's like we're going through a tunnel, and we're about to see a huge bridge, a huge, huge shelter. Distance. But that dot you see up in the trees is a huge nest built by bald eagles. It's a bald eagle's nest. We'll see if we can get just a little bit closer. Wow, check out this huge eagle's nest at Millenium Park. It's quite a distance from here. Eagles are not using this nest this time of year. They only use it to lay eggs and raise young. That's a huge nest. You know, it's pretty cool here at Millenium Park that you can see that bald eagles can coexist with humans. Here's a gas pump right here where they're pumping out natural gas or some kind of petroleum product, fossil fuel, right out of the ground. And in the background, there's that active bald eagle's nest. I know they raised chicks in that nest the last couple of years, and yet they're still pumping oil. So we can use natural resources and still protect wildlife. That's a hopeful sign. Wow, I took this little trail around the other side, and I got a little closer to that eagle's nest. Now you can kind of see how big it is. It's really a huge nest. Look at, this is my hand for comparison. That's a huge nest made by a bald eagle. Amazing. We'll come back in the springtime and see if they lay eggs and raise young in it again. Many of the ponds at Millenium Park have cattails around them, and that makes an ecosystem called a marsh. Take a look, this one has a special shelter in the middle. Made from cattails, that is a muskrat lodge. Muskrats will live in that lodge even through the winter. They'll have an underwater entrance where they go in and out, and the lodge will protect them from the weather and from predators all year long. That is so cool. It's a special shelter called a muskrat lodge. It's made out of cattails. Many animals know how to build shelters. They just know it. It's amazing. Wow, as the sun is setting in the west, I'm finding my way back to the car. Oh no, which way do I go? It looks very similar, doesn't it? Oh, I know which way I'm going. But for real, you should carry a compass with you. If you're exploring a new park that doesn't have such great trails, bring a compass so you know direction. Beautiful. We're still there. Oh, the second one was bigger. Wow, look at all these snags. This is a type of wetland ecosystem. All those trees have died and provided all these wonderful snags for wildlife. What a cool place at Millenium Park. Wow, this is an awkward transition, but what does a lawnmower have in common with a beautiful ecosystem like the ones we saw at Millenium Park? Hey, check it out. Remember, energy transformations. Think about that in a lawnmower and in an ecosystem. So what kind of energy transformations happen with a lawnmower? Remember, I put gas into the tank. It's not starting, so. So what kind of energy transformations happen with a lawnmower? Very interesting. Energy transformation!